If you want to pass your theory test first time, watch this video. I'm going to show you how to understand the questions and pass that theory test first time. Let's go. So I'm using the Driving Test Success 4-in-1 Theory app. I'll leave the link in the bio so you can download it straight from there. Let's hit the theory test. I'm going to do the practice revision questions and we'll go for 20 questions as well. So this is where people go wrong. They don't understand the question. They read it far too fast and then it's like a guessing game. They're either memorizing the questions and the answers or it's just guessing. But you have to understand the question. That's the way you are actually going to pass the test. I'm going to show you how to do that today. Question 1 is, why should you make allowances for older drivers? Older drivers take more risks than other drivers. Older drivers are exempt from wearing seatbelts. Older drivers can only drive cars that have automatic gearboxes, or older drivers' reactions may be slower than other drivers. There's a few options that we can choose, but let's read the question again. Why should you make allowances for older drivers? Older drivers take more risks than other drivers? No, they're actually a lot more sensible. Older drivers tend to not speed, not take too many risks, and just poodle around, really. I don't know, yeah? Older drivers are exempt from wearing seatbelts? No, everybody must wear seatbelts. If you have some form of a medical condition, then you could be exempt from wearing your seatbelt. Older drivers can only drive cars with automatic gearboxes. They can drive manuals as well. So we know it's not the first 3 options. That leaves older drivers' reactions may be slower than other drivers. And that is the one. So think about it. Older drivers, their reactions will be slower. They might walk slower. You know, they tend to drive slower anyway. So that's how you need to understand the question. Let's look at question number 2. What should you do if the left-hand pavement is closed due to street repairs? Watch out for pedestrians walking in the road. That kind of makes sense. The left-hand pavement is closed. So where are they going to walk? So far, first option is good. Watch out for pedestrians walking in the road. The second one, speed up to get past the roadworks more quickly. The pavement is closed, so what if somebody does step out? Why would you want to speed up? Position close to the left-hand curb. The left-hand pavement is closed due to repair, so why do you want to drive close to it? That doesn't make sense. That's not the safest option either. Use your right-hand mirror more often. What's that going to do? How's that going to help you? Yeah, we're going to look ahead of us, don't you, rather than behind you. So yes, watch out for pedestrians that might be walking in the road. Remember, the road is closed. Sorry, the pavement is closed. Where are they going to walk? They're most likely going to walk in the road. So let's go for A. Watch out for pedestrians walking in the road. Question number 3, other drivers may sometimes flash their headlights at you, but what's the official meaning of this signal? They're giving way to you. There's a radar speed trap ahead. They're warning you of their presence, or there's a fault with your vehicle. Remember, what's the official meaning of this signal? According to the Highway Code book, it is they are warning you of their presence. So when you flash your headlights, mainly use at nighttime, country roads where there's no street lighting, or when you're going on these country roads around a bend, you can't see what's coming around the opposite way. So if you flash your headlights, the car coming the opposite way or any vehicle will know that you're there. Same if you're going over a bridge as well. If you're going over a bridge, you have no idea what's the other side. So if you flash your lights or the oncoming vehicle flashes their headlights, you know that they're there. You're making them aware of your presence. We know in the real world, a lot of people will do that because they're giving somebody way. But you've got to be really careful with this one, because what if they're not actually giving you way? What if they're giving somebody else way? In most cases, when they flash their headlights, that lever is on the same side as your indicator switch as well. In a lot of cases, sometimes my pupils, when they go to indicate, they're a bit too quick with it and they'll flash their headlights accidentally as well. That could be, you know, misleading other drivers. Yeah, they're warning you of your presence, okay? Question number 4. What does this sign mean? So it's a blue sign, bus and a bike in it. Does it tell us we've got a contraflow bus and cycle lane? No buses and cycles allowed? With flow bus and cycle lane, or no waiting for buses and cycles? We know it's not an order sign, so that's going to be no buses and cycles allowed, or no waiting for buses. Those are orders, so we know this is not an order, it's an information sign. Okay, so we're left with either A or C. Remember, we look at the shape of the sign. That tells us a lot of information. Is it a contraflow bus lane and cycle, or is it a with flow bus lane and cycle? There's no arrows on it, so that means it's not a contraflow. Contraflow will tell you it's going the opposite way, so you potentially have like 2 lanes going up, 1 lane coming down. So you might have here 2 lanes going up this way, 1 lane coming down. Yeah, and there's no lanes on there, there's no arrows on it, so we know it's not a contraflow, it is actually a with flow. They both go in the same direction. Okay, so yes, we are going to go for the with flow bus and cycle lane. That's a bit of a mouthful to say, isn't it? So yes, we're going to go for the with flow bus and cycle lane. Good. Let's go for the next question. Number 5. At an incident, a casualty is unconscious, but they're breathing. When should you move them? Okay, now the key words to pick out on there, they're unconscious, but they're breathing. Okay, when should you move them? When an ambulance is on its way, when bystanders tell you to move them, when there's a risk of further danger, or when bystanders offer to help you. Now, the key word here, as I said already, the casualty is unconscious. Is that an incident? What kind of accident or incident is this, okay? How injured are they? And if they're injured and you don't really know, you shouldn't really move them. Leave that to the professionals, the ambulance, the paramedics, and so on. When should you move them? When an ambulance is on its way? No. If you're not medically trained, don't move them. Leave them be. When bystanders tell you to move them, why would you move somebody that's unconscious when you don't know what injuries they have? Does that make sense? When there's a risk of further danger, that will kind of like make sense. You want to move them if there's further risk of danger. Maybe it's an oncoming car or an extra amount of cars or whatever else, or somebody's in the way. When bystanders offer to help you, again, doesn't really matter about that yet. So if there's a further risk of danger, then yes, you should be able to move the casualty, yeah? We're gonna go for that one. If you're enjoying this video so far and you're getting good information from this, press the like button and even hit subscribe as well. Leave me a comment as well. Let me know what you're struggling on and how you need more help. Let's get into the next question. Question number 6. The road is wet. Why would a motorcyclist steer around drain covers while they were cornering? Is it to avoid puncturing the tires on the edge of the drain covers? To prevent the motorcycle sliding on the metal drain covers? That's a good hint there. To help judge the bend, use the drain covers as marker points, or to avoid splashing pedestrians on the pavement. Now, drain covers are metal, right? They have to be metal because they have traffic going over it all day long, and some of those traffic are very heavy goods vehicles as well. So they're metal. Now, when they become wet, they become quite slippery. So why would a motorcyclist steer around the drain covers while they were cornering? I would say that one, to prevent the motorcycle sliding on the metal drain covers, sliding, slipping, and then falling off. The other one's to avoid punching the tires on the edge of the drain covers. I mean, that could potentially happen, but they shouldn't be sharp corners anyway. To help judge the bend, using the drain covers as marker points? Nah, not really. They won't really do that. Yeah. To avoid splashing pedestrians on the pavement? They're not really going to be caring about that either too much. But yeah, generally the safety option would be prevent a motorcycle from sliding on the metal drain covers when it's wet. Yeah, we're going to go with B. Okay, question number 7. What hazard do you need to look out for as you drive under the bridge? Is it, let's look at the options first and then we'll look at the video. Is it pedestrians walking in the road, overhanging tree branches, a narrowing of the road, or the height of the bridge? Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit closer. Okay, so if I press play on it, let's have a look. What hazard do you need to look out for as you drive under the bridge? All right, so there's a train going through it. It looked quite narrow as well, doesn't it? As it comes, there were pedestrians walking. There was a sign on the left-hand side. I don't know whether you actually saw the sign. Let's replay it. Right, if I pause it there, it tells you right there may be pedestrians in the road. So that's a good sign. Again, it's telling us the sign's a hazard warning sign, yeah? The question is, what hazard do you need to look out for? And that's a hazard warning sign. So pedestrians walking in the road so far is the best option. Let's continue pressing play on this one. We're going under the bridge. There's another hazard warning sign. It's the height restriction. And as we turn, there is a pedestrian there walking on the right side. And it is a narrow road as well. So the best option is, yeah, pedestrians. The other options, overhanging tree branches, narrowing of the road. Yeah, it is narrow. That is a hazard in itself. The height of the bridge, we're in a car. So that height of the bridge doesn't really affect us. So we are going to go with pedestrians walking the road because that sign warned us so. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 8. Which is the sign for a ring road? A, B, C, or D? Again, this is a really simple one. A ring road, we know this one. In fact, can you guess what this one is? Mini roundabout. Can you guess what this one is? Yep, no stopping. C, again, it's a hazard warning sign, and it's warning us there's a roundabout coming up ahead. That leaves one option, Alpha Ring Road, easy one. Do you know what a ring road is? What is a ring road? In fact, what I want you to do is leave it in the comments what you think a ring road is, and we'll look through the answers later. What's the minimum tread depth of the tires of a trailer? Is it 1 millimeters, 2 millimeters, 1.6 millimeters, or 2.2 millimeters? Now, it's going to be the same as a car. Your trailer will be 1.6 millimeters as the minimum tread depth, okay? When you buy brand new tires, they're generally about 8 millimeters of tread depth. And as you drive on it, you know, miles and miles and miles, it wears the tread out and it will wear down. Now, once it gets down to 1.6 millimeters, no less than that, get your tires changed. The minimum legal limit is 1.6. Question number 10. You're in a built-up area at night and the road is well lit. Why should you use dipped headlights? Let's look at the questions again. You're in a built-up area, it's night, and the road is well lit. We don't need to use full beams. Why should you use dipped headlights? We've got a lot of clues there. So that you can be easily seen by others, so that you can switch to main beam quickly, so that you can see further along the road, or so you can go at a much faster speed. You're in a built-up area, so you don't want to be going at a faster speed, okay? That you can see further along the road. The road is well lit, so you should have really good visibility as well. So that you can switch to main beam quickly. I mean, generally, probably 90% of the time, you will be driving using your dipped headlights. Dipped basically means your headlights are dipped to the ground. Your headlights are dipped to the ground and not pointing up. When the main beam or your full beam, which is the same thing, are on, your headlights are kind of like pointing upwards or straight on, and it lets you see a lot further down the road. So your headlights are dipped down to the ground. Main beam is up, down, and so on, okay? Built up area, night, roads well lit, which use dipped headlights so you can be easily seen by others. Question number 11. What type of emergency vehicle is fitted with a green flashing beacon? Is it an ambulance, a road gritter, a fire engine, or a doctor's car? Okay, so now let's first of all think about what colors are these vehicles. Ambulance, we know is blue. Fire engine is also blue. So your first responders, that's your ambulance, fire engines, police, they will have blue lights. They're emergency responders. They will have blue lights on their vehicles mainly, okay? A road gritter is a slow-moving vehicle, and any slow-moving vehicle will have an amber or an orange. Some people either call it orange or yellow, doesn't matter, it's the same thing. Amber flashing beacon. And that leaves one option then, your doctor's car. Your doctor's car will have a green flashing beacon. Good stuff. Hopefully you got that one correct. Question number 12. There are no speed limit signs on the road. In England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, how is a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit generally indicated? By hazard warning lines, by street lighting, by pedestrian islands, or by double or single yellow lines? Now, I don't know whether you actually know this, a lot of people don't, but it's something we teach as driving instructors as well to our pupils is, how do you know it's a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit? Street lights and no speed signs means it's a 30. So in this instance, in this question, the answer is by street lighting. Okay, street lighting and no speed signs will generally tell you it's a 30-mile-an-hour road. Pedestrian islands, you can get them on 40 and 50-mile-an-hour roads as well. Double or single yellow lines, again, you can get them on any type of speed limit signs, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and so on. But hazard warning lines, no, there's not a hazard. A speed sign isn't a hazard as such, is it, yeah? So yeah, street lighting is the one. Question number 13. What does this sign mean? That's a very similar sign to what we had earlier on. However, there's a line missing here. Is it mean waiting is permitted, national speed limit applies, waiting restrictions apply, or clearway, no stopping? Now, we looked at the first one. That was no stopping, wasn't it? The clearway, no stopping. So we know it's not this one. Waiting permitted, national is not a national speed limit sign. A national speed limit sign will be on a white background with a black stripe. Waiting restrictions apply. Right, so we know it is waiting restrictions apply, whereas the other one with the extra red line on it is no stopping. Question number 14. When would you increase the pressure in your tires so that it's above the normal value? When the tire tread is worn below 2 millimeters, when the vehicle is fitted with anti-lock brakes, when carrying a very heavy load, or when the roads are slippery. Now, generally, you would need to increase your tire pressures if you're carrying extra passengers or luggage in your vehicle, okay, or extra load. When the roads are slippery, you don't want to overinflate your tires. When your tread level is worn below 2 millimeters, that's getting quite close to the 1.6 millimeters minimum legal tread depth. So time to change your tires in that case. Increasing your tire pressures isn't going to help matters with that at all. When the vehicle is fitted with anti-lock brakes, pretty much all vehicles since 2004 in this country is fitted with anti-lock brakes anyway. So that doesn't affect how much tire pressure you put in your tires. Question 15. You arrive at the scene of a crash where someone is bleeding heavily from a wound in the leg. Nothing is embedded in the wound. What could you do to help? Let's pick out the key words. You're at the scene of a crash where somebody is bleeding heavily from a wound in the arm. They're bleeding heavily. That's an important thing to remember. And nothing is embedded in the wound. What could you do to help? Walk them around and keep them talking. They're wounded. they're bleeding heavily. Why would you want to walk them around and keep them talking? If they're bleeding heavily, they're gonna pass out sooner or later, aren't they? Yeah, and then it could be fatal. Dab the wound. Little dabs aren't going to help. They're bleeding heavily. Give them a drink. Probably that's one of the last things they want right now if they're bleeding heavily from the wound. Apply pressure over the wound would make sense there. Now, when it says apply pressure over the wound, you've got to apply a good firm amount of pressure so you actually stop the bleeding as much as you can, yeah? Until help arrives, until professional medical help arrives. So yes, have you ever gotten in a situation where you've had to do this? Let me know in the comments if you have. Question 16, you're driving on a motorway. What does it mean if the car in front shows its hazard warning lights for a short time? The other car is going to change lanes, the driver wants you to accelerate, traffic ahead is slowing or stopping suddenly, or there's a police speed check ahead. Now, I use this a lot actually. I do quite a bit of motorway driving as well actually, and the answer is the traffic ahead is slowing or stopping suddenly. So it's a really good way to warn the drivers behind you that the vehicles ahead of you are slowing down quite quickly. You put your hazard warning lights on, they normally see your car in front of you, they will start to slow down as well. This is where you need to really look further up the road and then spot the hazard. Hazard warning lights start to break ASAP as well. Let's look at the other options. The other car is going to change lanes. That's just your normal indicator that you'd put on, won't it? Yeah, just your normal indicator. You don't need to put your hazard warning lights on for that. The driver wants you to overtake. You don't really use that there. Hazard warning lights is that. It's a hazard. You're warning somebody of a hazard coming up. There's a police speed check ahead. People don't really use hazard warning lights for that. Yep, it is C. Traffic ahead is slowing or stopping suddenly. Question number 17. When may you drive a car in this bus lane? Okay, let's actually look at it first of all. So we know it's buses, taxis, and cyclists can use that lane during those times shown, okay? So on this one, it's showing us between Monday to Friday, you can use it, but not between these hours. So between 7 and 10 a.m. you can't use it. That's its bus operational time. And then between 4 and 6:30 p.m. you can't use it. That's its bus operational time as well. So after 10 a.m. and before 4 p.m. you can use it Monday to Friday. After 6:30 p.m. you can use it all the way up till 7 a.m. the next day. It doesn't say Saturday and Sunday on here either. So that means Saturday and Sunday you can use it all day long. Easy way to think about it. Yeah? Outside of operational hours, that would make sense. Those times shown are the bus's operational hours. We can use it outside of those hours. And so A makes really good sense so far. You may not use it at any time. No, we can use it. To get to the front of a traffic queue? No, that doesn't make sense. You're not going to get to the front of a traffic queue like that anyway. To overtake slow moving traffic? That again doesn't really apply. So yes, the answer is you may drive in the bus lane out of its operational hours. A is the answer. If you're still sticking around, well done. Thanks for sticking around. Hopefully you're getting really good information from this video. And if you can, like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment as well what you'd like any more help on as well. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 18. What should you do if the red lights start flashing as you approach a level crossing? What should you do if the red lights start to flash as you approach this level crossing? Let's think, what does it tell us? A level crossing is a train crossing, isn't it? Yeah, train lines. Stop before the barrier, go over it carefully, switch on your hazard warning lights, or go over it quickly. Now, when the red light starts showing, the barriers normally will actually start to come down. You need to stop. You cannot go. That's going to be dangerous. The first sign you'll see, or the first color you'll see on those lights is amber. It normally be a static amber. That'll switch up, then you see the red flashing from left, right, left, right, left, right, okay? Barriers will start to come down and there is a train coming. So you should not go past that stop line. So the answer is stop before the barrier. If you go over it carefully, you might be in danger. There's a train coming. Switching your hazard warning lights, you still need to stop. How's switching on your hazard warning lights going to help anybody? Go over it quickly? No, don't do that. There's a train coming and that could be very, very, very dangerous. So stop before the barrier. Simple as that. Question 19. What should you do when you're approaching this crossing? Now, let's have a look. So it's a zebra crossing. We've got two people waiting to cross on the right hand side. What is the law? Let's look at the answers. Stop and wave the pedestrians across. Prepare to slow down and stop. That kind of like makes sense so far. Speed up and pass by quickly. Well, if you speed up and pass by quickly, what would you do if these two people start to actually cross? There's a big chance you are going to run them over. Continue unless the pedestrians step out. Well, the law is ideally you need to stop. So prepare to slow down and stop is the answer. You don't want to continue. There's somebody waiting to cross. It's their right of way. I want to look at option A here. Stop and wave the pedestrians across. Now, this is actually really important that you never wave people across. They may not have seen another vehicle coming in the opposite direction. If they see you waving them across, they might think, oh, great, I can go. This guy's waving me to cross. They start to cross and a vehicle comes from the opposite direction that maybe haven't seen them. They may get run over. So the best thing is what you want to do is prepare, slow down and stop, and wait for them to cross. Let them make their own safe decision. It's their responsibility to check both ways are clear before they cross. You've got to keep that safety as well. So never wave people across in any situation, whether it's a zebra crossing, pelican puffing a toucan crossing, or even somebody that's just crossing the road. And the last question, question number 20 is, you're driving at night on an unlit road. What should you do if you're following another vehicle? Use your dipped headlights, flash your headlights, switch off your headlights, or use your full beams. Now, this is very similar to that question that we had earlier on, didn't we? Isn't it? Yeah. What should you do if you're following another vehicle? So it's at nighttime, but the road is unlit. Unlit, there's no street lighting. So it's going to be really dark. But if you've got another vehicle in front of you, why do you want to flash your headlights? What are you telling them? Why are you making them aware of your presence? Switch off your headlights? I mean, you need your lights on. Yeah, you should have your dipped beam on. I'm just giving you the answer. Use your full beams. Now, if you put your full beams on, you are going to blind the vehicle that's in front of you. So you don't want to do that. So the answer is, yep, use your dipped headlights. You remember when you dipped headlights, your headlights are dipped to the ground, and it doesn't blind the driver in front of you, and it doesn't blind the vehicles coming towards you either. Excellent. There we go. We've just done 20 questions. Okay, so now if you've really liked this video, we're going to look at the score in a second. If you like this video, watch the other ones. Use one of these links wherever it is and click on it, and you'll see the next videos. Also, there's a playlist, so there's many more of these videos, and I explain everything in detail there as well. Let's see what score we got. 19 out of 20 again. Oh God. Okay, let's review the answers again. Let's see what I've got wrong. Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. What have we got incorrect? Right, okay. I actually just stupidly clicked the wrong one, didn't I? Okay, we did say when it was carrying a heavier load. Did you actually spot that? Did you spot? Because I didn't actually, so I'm glad I didn't physically get this one wrong, where I stupidly clicked when the vehicle is fitted with anti-lock brakes. But the answer actually is, which I originally did say is, when carrying a heavy load. I have no idea why I've clicked the wrong answer, but it is what it is. But there you go. So technically, we got 20 out of 20. There it is. I'm happy with it, and I'm sticking with that. If you spotted that mistake, tell me in the comments that you spotted it, and why did I carry on? All right, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.